What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Awesome Show. Today we're looking at McFarlane DC Multiverse gold label figures. So these are gold labels that were exclusive to the McFarlane store, and from them we have Superman from Hush. So we've had multiple figures from the Hush storyline so far, so getting Superman is really cool, and he comes with some of the poison ivy vines and stuff of his mind controlled when he fights with Batman and stuff. But cool to have Superman there. That looks a little bit different. We'll look at closer. Then of course Kid Flash from DC Rebirth, which looks awesome there. But pretty cool to have figures here of characters we've seen already, but not in these forms yet, so pretty cool to have that. So let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Superman again from the Hush storyline. So we've looked at Superman multiple times, so don't need to go into any of his story, but specifically for the Hush storyline, when the villains all escape, Poison Ivy makes her way to Metropolis, where she takes control of Superman using her powers, and she commands him to kill Batman, and so him and Batman fight, but you can tell subconsciously Superman is trying to hold back from attempting to kill Batman, so you can tell he's still in there. But while the two are fighting, Catwoman finds Lois Lane and drops her from the Daily Planet, which causes Superman to break free of Poison Ivy's control and fly to save Lois. So we have him here in the controlled form, so he's got the all red eyes, so he's like possessed and stuff, taken control by Poison Ivy. But overall, just looks like your normal Superman, so it just looks like a nice, just old Superman with the all blue outfit, red underwear with yellow belt, red cape on the back, and a nice flowing pose here with the S, as well as on the chest, the red and gold. So just looks like your standard Superman with the red boots and stuff there. But then we have the face that makes him different, so he's all possessed and stuff here. So the Clark Kent face with the hair all swept up with the curl in the front, but the nice red around the all white eyes there to make him look possessed with his teeth gritted is the only thing that really makes this different. And then, like I said, the accessories he comes with. But we can do the movement, so the head can twist all the way around. It can look down that far and up that far. So still not the best movements for Superman. Still can't look up, but it's not horrible. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate around. We get the bicep twist, the double elbow joint, which is a little bit stiff on these figures, but can bend all the way up on itself. And then the wrist can twist around. It's got the ball joint, so it can flex there on the ball. We have the ab crunch, so crunch back and forth, very little, but crunching, and can twist around. And then we should be able to move at the waist as well, so twist around and crunch back and forth there. The hip can come up to 90 if you force him up, and then out to the side. Should be able to do splits, but his doesn't go too far because of the underwear. Pretty much no thigh twist, but a double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back. And then the foot can flex back and forth on the ball joint and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So again, pretty standard Superman movements, nothing too special or anything about this one. Still has the limited movements that the McFarlanes have, but he's not horrible. Now I wanted to compare him to a Superman because I assume with McFarlane especially, he just reused the Superman, just, if I have another one. But the closest one I could find was this version. I don't even know what it's from, but it was the only one we could find that had the red underwear and stuff, but the bodies do look completely different, so they definitely didn't just take this one and redo it. Still has similar boots though. The boots look pretty similar, so they may have just reused those, but that's just the closest Superman I could find. But accessory wise, he comes with some additional hands, so he's just got two fists on. So he comes with a hand with like a grip hand, as well as a hand that I'd say like a trigger finger, but it could just be using some powers or something there. So we have those two hands we can switch out if we want. And then for the Poison Ivy control, we do also get this piece of ivy that we can wrap around him. I assume this goes up around his neck, and then we can just wrap this around underneath him. Hopefully it'll stay on and look pretty decent. So there's that. I don't know if it goes on any other way because it seems a little bit too loose and a little bit weird and doesn't really stick on too well, but we got the ivy wrapped around him to control Superman, so that is pretty cool. Of course, comes with the base that we can pop him on to help sturdy him, so that'll help him there. And then of course we have his card from Hush, so there he is, and you can see the ivy and stuff wrapped around him there. And on the back we have the story of Clark Kent or Kal-El, and it's going to have the exact same story that it normally has, so you can read that if you want. But like I said, being specifically from Hush, I wish it had more about that, but all we really get is the ivy to add to him, so it adds the ivy and then the red eyes to make it like the possessed version. But looks pretty cool with that. I thought the ivy would sit on him a little bit more and help make it look a little bit cooler, add to the design and stuff to always have this on, but doesn't really work out too well. Maybe you'd have to heat it up to get it to fit around him properly, but still pretty cool to have this version of Superman. And now that we have him, we can bring in the Hush Batman, and then we can have them face off and stuff and fight. It looks like Batman's super tall for some reason compared to Superman, but yeah, we can have them two face off now like they did in the comic. And then we have the DC Rebirth version of Kid Flash, which is Wallace West. And much like the other Flashes, he was hit from a lightning bolt from a Speed Force storm that stabilized the powers he had through a family connection to the Speed Force. So the Flash decided to take him under his wing as the new Kid Flash. So he looks pretty awesome here in his outfit. So of course has a lot of the Kid Flash design with the yellow and red. So he's got the yellow top with the red pants, and I like the black lightning bolt designs around his gloves, waist, and down on his boots. And then looks pretty cool there. So we have Wallace Wallace West. So he looks pretty nice there with the head mask that comes up and covers his identity. The little lightning bolt ears off to the side. I like how he even has the little lightning bolt like cut into his hair. That's pretty cool. And of course, lightning bolt logo on his chest for the Flash logo. Red gloves, red pants going down until you get to the yellow boots there at the bottom. So overall, looks pretty cool. I like the designs and colors. Of course, looks just like Kid Flash, that you know. Pretty cool to have him here. So let's do the movement. So head can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far. So not bad move. It's not the best, and it feels a little stiff in there, but it does move at least. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly joint. Actually can go up over 90 just because it can go up a little bit higher there. But butterfly joint and rotate around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend all the way up on itself, and the wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. And now this has the blended in joints there, so a little bit better. We get the upper ab crunch, so crunch back and forth and twist around a little. And then at the waist, he should be able to crunch a little and should be able to twist, but I can't get him to twist. I don't know if there's something wrong with this figure or they just got rid of the twist on him, but can't get his waist to move, so just have the upper twist. The hips can come up a little bit under 90, so you can't really get up too far because of the underwear, and then out to the side again. Can't fully get the splits. A little bit of a thigh twist up in there. Double knee joint that can bend up that far. We can pretty much kick his butt, and then the foot flexes back and forth and twist side to side. Again, has that more blended in joint there, and then has the toe joint on the end, which is really stiff but can get it to bend. So overall, not a bad figure. Still the normal McFarlane's, where it seems a little bit too, I want to say like cheap like and stuff, but that just seems like the quality of the plastic, and overall doesn't have the best movements, but still pretty decent and looks really cool to add in with our Flash family. Now accessory wise, he comes with additional hands, so he has some little tiny fists here that go along if you don't want to have the running hands. Of course, we get the base to pop him on, and then he comes with some effects. So we get these cool lightning effects, which are very bright and may not come through in the camera, but very bright orange. It's like the classic like 90s neon orange colors that we used to have a lot of stuff in, but looks pretty cool. Like I said, doesn't really come through on the camera, but in real life it's really bright. So we have these, so it looks like we have some leg effects as well as some arm effects that I'll probably struggle getting these on, but let me try them. So I struggled as usual to try and get him into a pose and then put the lightning on, so I just kind of wrapped it around his arms and stuff to be like he's running and the lightning's coming off. So it's cool they include it, but I can never get him on properly and get it to look good, but that's probably just me that can't do that, but looks pretty cool. And then comparison wise, we do have the older version from the Speed Metal, so we have this version of Wallace West as well. Of course, looks a little bit different and much older, but we have that version of Kid Flash, and then we also have the DC Rebirth version of Flash that we can add in here, so we can have Flash and Kid Flash, so protege and mentor here together of those two, so pretty cool to have those. And then of course we have the card there of DC Rebirth version of Kid Flash, and on the back, of course, Wallace West, and it says the latest in the long line of speedsters. Wallace West does not take the mantle of Kid Flash lightly, even when it makes him question everything about himself. Struck by the Speed Force lightning thanks to some truly mind-bending issues with the timeline, Wallace was given his powers and put on the radar of Barry Allen, who took him under his wing, or at least he tried to. If there's one thing Wallace learned very quickly, is that being a speedster isn't something you can just be taught overnight, even by the fastest man alive. So a little bit of backstory there. So cool to have him to add to our speedster collection now. Well, there we have our two McFarlane DC Multiverse Gold Label McFarlane store exclusive figures of the Superman from Hush and DC Rebirth Kid Flash. So both are really cool. Kid Flash is really nice to add to the collection. You know, it fits in perfectly, like I said, with the speedsters. But the Superman is one you can skip. But just if you kind of want to build up that Hush collection that they're kind of doing, we can add this Superman now and with it. And I wish, like I said, this Ivy would just sit a little bit better on the body. But both are pretty cool to add to the collection, and really cool we were able to get them. But let me know what you thought of these two figures down in the comments. And if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.